Hey, what's up, comic book fans? It's Pete. Remember me and my good friend over there, Brian. We're from Comic Books Transformed, and we talk about comics that have been adapted into streaming shows and movies. We've had a bit of a dry patch recently. There hasn't been a lot of stuff for us to cover. So Brian and I took it upon ourselves to cover Star Wars Visions, which has been released over 3 seasons over the past few years. We're up to season 3 today. And we're also going to talk about the Supergirl trailer, which dropped just a couple of hours ago.
Actually,
so, Brian,
I forgot to say this to you, but you know, there's like a little teaser for Wonder Man out there too.
Oh shit! Okay, well I didn't watch that.
Oh, okay. Well, it's not much. It's some like meta commentary thing where it's an interviewer interviewing Trevor Slattery about his role on the Wonder Man show, but he keeps asking him about Mandarin. Things like that. You don't see anybody else. It's just that guy and Ben Kingsley. But it seems interesting. I'm excited for it. I think it's like January.
Okay, good. It gives us something to cover. And I think Doomsday, I saw somewhere that the trailer release got delayed. Did you see that or no?
I didn't see a delay. I heard last I heard was next Thursday, the 18th. Yeah. But there's a lot coming next year. There's Wonder Man. There's Invincible season 4.
Yeah, 5?
4.
No,
5.
No, I think it's 4. It's 4.
The next Invincible season is I want to say like March, something like that. The Boys is April. And there's something else I'm forgetting too, probably. There's a lot coming to be excited about.
Yeah, I know they finished filming Ahsoka, and we'll cover that eventually. I know there's another Spider-Man movie coming as well. And
that'll be June-ish or so, I think.
I think like the second season of X-Men 97 too.
Oh yes. I don't know when that comes out, but yeah, that's got to be coming sometime. But yeah, there's stuff to look forward to. And there's got to be some movies here that I'm completely forgetting about coming at some point that we can cover too. But it'll be good to get back to that kind of covering a show on a kind of weekly basis. As we've mentioned many times before, we're not really fans of the binge watch, and I think that kind of really caught up to me this season with Star Wars Visions season 3. I struggle with it. I don't think anything is necessarily worse than anything or better than anything before. But I just had trouble going through it. Maybe it was just looking at it and seeing the slightly longer run times. I feel like everything was at least like standard episode length for a 30-minute anime series, like 20, 23, 24 minutes around there. Where previously, like a 17-minute one was long.
Right. Well, let me ask you this. Just kind of going off that, what you just said. Like, what do you think makes one of these episodes good? What differentiates the good ones from the ones that are just okay?
Wow, that is a great question. I don't know. I like to be interested. The first and foremost thing is I like to be interested in learning more about something. If it's like a quick one and done thing, it has to really have a really great, profound premise, and I don't think a lot of those have that. But if I'm interested in learning more about the characters and what's going on, that's a huge plus. But if the thing has something to say and I resonate with it, that's also something good. But I don't necessarily think too many of those have that here. Maybe this was just how I felt watching the earlier ones, but I wasn't like crazy about. Actually, looking back at my rankings on here, they're not bad. I guess I just they're probably a little generous, maybe. That I'm looking at it.
Right. That's great criteria. I think that even with a short story, even with a one-off episode that's less than a half hour, if you can get us invested in a character, and I don't even mean like I know their backstory and I'm so interested in them. Just if they're the character themselves, if they're appealing, like there's something about their voice, the way they look, their choices that they make. I think that's a good way to get, to be invested in something. I don't know. I mean, this season, for some reason, it just didn't stick with me. I didn't get as excited about each of the episodes So I mean, like what Brian and I have done for the previous two recordings is we basically just go through each short and we say if we would want to watch more of that story or if we were good with it being just one episode and done. And so for me, I'd say that most of them, I was okay with them being just one episode and done.
Yeah, I think I agree with that here.
Yeah. So we could just jump right into it and start talking about each one. The first one is our first sequel. We have the sequel to The Duel. This one's called The Duel Payback. So it's made by the same studio. And
I'm actually wondering, is it the same studio? I didn't. Well, because I felt the animation here was somewhat of a downgrade. It felt a lot more static. So if it was the same studio, they must have had a thinner budget, or maybe the same budget because it's longer than the previous one. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess part of the appeal for these is just to kind of see like, oh, what is this animation going to be like? So with the sequel episodes, it's kind of like, well, we've already seen this, so it's not as exciting too.
Yeah, I agree.
As far as like characters, also just their aesthetic can be appealing, and you want to just look at them, on a base level. And so I thought that the character of the Grandmaster that got introduced in this episode, I really like. There's something about the way that they looked. Like you just used the word static. They have like a static face because they're wearing a mask that resembles a face, and I really like that. I was going to ask you, have you ever seen Boardwalk Empire by any chance?
I have not. I mean, I know what it is. I've maybe seen some scenes here and there, but I haven't watched the show.
Yeah. There's a character on Boardwalk Empire where they were in World War I, and part of their face was blown off, like including their eye. And so they actually wear like a mask on their face that resembles like the rest of their face, but it's like clearly like, plaster or something like that. That's kind of the effect that I got when I was looking at this Grandmaster character. And he was the leader of the Crusaders, which were basically like Jedi that were going around trying to exterminate the Sith. And I felt like that was very non-Jedi-like.
Yeah, the whole thing about this is that it seems like, you have a good Sith and a bad Jedi. I did eventually like that towards the end when they're battling, that Grandmaster guy kind of loses his sight and he's reaching for the two sabers on the ground and he grabs the red one.
Yeah.
That was kind of symbolic of, him being the bad guy, sort of. I did kind of like that little nod there, but overall, I kind of thought maybe like you said there, there's this because it's a redo, a rehash, a sequel that's not as exciting as the first time.
Yeah. Well, I mean, just the problem with sequels in general is if you don't build upon it, what's the point, right? And so this one, like they do establish that this person collects lightsaber, the kyber crystals, right? And they use them in this episode too, like to like make more lightsabers or whatever, or to like power up their allies' lightsaber. But I felt like it didn't really add any more for like the main character from the last one. How'd you feel?
Yeah, same thing. It just feels like another one-off adventure with not adding anything to the previous, like you said. They would have just developed a little more, give a little more something to go on to make you want to see this character again outside of it kind of looking cool.
Right.
When you first see the duel in season 1, you're like, oh, cool, this is like a samurai Jedi. But then you see 8 other samurai Jedis after, and it kind of wears a little thin.
Right. So for me, like, there's a thing I said like so many times in the past 2 recordings where I was like, it'd be okay if the character was part of an ensemble with the other characters in a bigger story. Like that was kind of my default thing. And I just would say that about this Sith that goes around collecting kyber crystals. That's how I feel about him. I don't know if I need to see another take in this world. So I'm kind of okay with this being one and done. But I would like to see that character again, like maybe as part of like a bigger story.
Yeah, and if they do, I'd like to see some more information. I'd like to learn a little more about why he's doing what he's doing, I guess.
Yeah, like why is he a former Sith?
Yeah. Well, why did he stop? Why is he collecting the crystals? Just anything else to give me a little more to have the character grow a little bit.
Yeah. Okay, all right. So
the was that a Twi'lek that he like kind of was fighting at first and teamed up with?
yeah,
She
yeah,
had
that's
like
why I
a,
like
like a lightsaber peg leg, which was kind of cool.
right.
I enjoyed that, and then I wrote a note here. I guess there was like a Rodian that shows up somewhere, and I feel like we were supposed to know who he is, and I don't.
Oh, there really isn't any.
I don't remember what he showed up and did that I wrote down this for, but I was questioning it. Like, was I supposed to remember this character? But I don't even know where they did it anymore because this was so long ago.
I mean, maybe he was one of the people from that village that was like protecting that village in the first one.
Maybe. Sure went back and
yeah. Because there really aren't any like cameos or like special characters in any of these. In the last one, we had like Wedge Antilles was in one of the episodes, but for the most part, it's kind of devoid of the main Star Wars characters.
Yeah, in the first season, you had that one that had Boba Fett and Jabba as well. But yeah, I don't think there are any. No, I mean, there's a Yoda name drop somewhere in one of these, but
yeah,
I think that's it.
Yeah, and I think the Emperor actually makes a cameo in the last one, which is this. Wait till we get to that last episode. Yeah.
So I gave this like a 6.5 ish, like just kind of middle of the road sort of, and that's kind of where most of my ratings are gonna roll, I think.
Right. I agree. I feel the same way actually. Yeah. So let's see if you get a 6.5 for the next one, The Song of Four Wings, and this one, I thought that you would have actually liked this part because the girl who's in it. At one point, her droid becomes like a suit of armor, and I thought that was like very Transformers.
Yeah, I got some Transformery vibes, particularly like Sorry from Transformers Animated. Yeah, it kind of gave you that kind of magical girl-esque thing, but trope, but in Star Wars. There were also some really cool visuals, like the AT-ATs like jump out of the ice, and there were things that look kind of cool here. I really like the music in this. One of the big things about it was the girl character, she was like a princess or something like that. Yeah. It's just, she was listening to music and they told her not to. And then the whole thing was sort of her listening to music, which I really enjoyed that. So this will get a little bit more of a bump than that. And then, the droid turning into like an X-Wing like armor, as ridiculous as it was, I kind of dug it.
Right. Well, this one just kind of had like a kinetic energy to it. There was definitely like this energy, this excitement to it that was kind of missing from some of the other ones. I think her name was like Princess Crane, and she was cool,
Crane, yeah, that's right. That was pretty cool. I gave this an 8, but maybe I'd knock that down to a 7.5.
Okay. Would you want to see more of Princess Crane?
I don't think I need to see more of it, but I did sort of enjoy this one. That's kind of it.
Okay. Yeah. Well, guess what? We're in agreement. Surprise, surprise. So here we go. Sequel number 2 on here. And this is a sequel to one that you liked a lot from the first one. We got another installment of the 9th Jedi story. It's called Child of Hope. And did you like this one as much as that first 9th Jedi story?
No, the first 9th Jedi one hooked me a bit more. So the way I looked at this, when I first watched this, but my first thoughts in the first like half of it or so is like, I wanted to see more of that ensemble that ended up at the end of that first episode and not just this. But being that with the knowledge that this is going to become I still remember if it's a show or a movie, but the fact that it's going to be expanded something larger, I looked at it in the concept of this like a side quest episode of a series. And I think I was a little easier on it then. I do think this was a different animation studio. This seemed like it was 3D animation in this rather. So I wasn't a fan of that. And I was kind of annoyed at that little droid constantly referring to himself in the third person.
Yes.
And I kind of feel bad saying that because he like sacrifices himself at the end. But
right.
But yeah, this didn't get me as much. And I had to like kind of like give it different rules for make it have a little more of a meaning to me. Okay. I like look at it in that separate context of like, oh, this is like an episode in like a 12 episode series or something like that, And then, and then I imagine that there was something else around it that was it helps support it better. But it's kind of unfair. But so
Yeah.
it's like a standalone. It probably deserves less than I gave it, which was a 7. So maybe it only deserves a 6 or a 5.5, something like that.
Well, for me, like the droid is the main thing I remember. Like a few of these I watched like a long time ago, and I'm just trying to remember off the top of my head what happened. But yeah, I remember the droid, and yeah, he did refer to himself in the third person. And then when he went to go die, I was like, oh shit, are they gonna kill that droid? Like,
Yeah.
A lot of these have ended in a pretty optimistic way. There are some that are kind of somber, and maybe some people make some dark choices, but for the most part, they're optimistic. So,
Yes.
like when he just blows up, I was like, "Oh shit!"
Yeah.
Did
That was a little
did you?
surprising, but yeah.
Yeah. Did you think that the Jedi Master that he was like keeping on life support but was actually dead? Did you think that he was gonna like come back to life, but he was actually gonna be like a Sith?
That would have made it so much worse.
Okay, good.
I was actually sort of surprised that he was just guarding this dead body. It makes sense; it's more logical there. But I kind of like that more realistic approach to it, rather than this guy busting out and like, "Oh, I'm gonna fight you now and teach you that the Sith are bad." It's like I feel like some of them get a little heavy-handed like that, and I'm glad they didn't take that kind of a route.
Yeah. Well, regardless of how we feel about the continuation of the story, it is continuing. Probably be here on Disney Plus. The next one is called The Bounty Hunters, and it brings up a point I wanted to make. There's a lot of bounty hunters in this season.
Yes, and that's one of the things I asked for after the first season. So maybe they somehow heard me from after they made it and didn't.
Exactly. Yes, they had a vision of it. Premonition. Yes.
Yeah.
Like we must appease these two middle-aged white men.
We know they're going to review it someday, so we have to do it now.
Yes, we need those 20 views on YouTube. That's how we survive. That's how the universe stays alive. But no, I love bounty hunters. I mean, yeah, there's bounty hunters in the first season. You just mentioned Boba Fett, which I completely fucking forgot from the first season.
Yeah, but he was an antagonist and a minor part of it. This was like the bounty hunter is the protagonist here.
Yeah. Well, what I was going to say, though, is that I felt like the bounty hunters in this season aesthetically were like cooler than most of the Jedi or Sith in any of the seasons.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
Yeah. So, I mean, what'd you think of this main bounty hunter in this one? I think, what was her name? Seven or like Seven?
Man, I thought I wrote more character names down here. All I wrote for this one was that I noticed that Ronnie Chang voiced the medical droid.
Oh, who's Ronnie Chang?
He's a comedian. He's on the Daily Show right now.
Oh, okay, I know that guy then. Yeah.
You've definitely seen him before. Yes, I guess I didn't write much about what I thought of the bounty hunter, but I guess it was interesting that she was a slave that broke free and she took a job from a very obvious slaver.
Right.
They do eventually turn against that guy, which is good. And I really thought I dug that slaver guy's. He had like droidica armor, which was like kind of cool. But other than that, and the idea of the droid was a medical droid with an assassin droid protocol installed was a really cool idea. But this was just kind of middle of the road for me here. Like that was some cool ideas and a visual, but not enough, not really enough to sustain it with what they had.
Yeah, I actually feel very similar. You and I usually think, the same way. But I thought that the main girl, Seven or whatever her name is, Seven, she she looked cool too. She kind of had this mask on. Yeah, I don't even know how to refer to these masks at this point. Like, I would say they look like COVID masks, but they've been around since before COVID.
Star Wars had COVID too.
Oh my God! Take that, Jabba. He definitely had morbidities or whatever they call those. But I just thought that she looked cool. Like her, I think she had like different color eyes and she had like a black mask over her face. So I mean, when it's something like this, when it's like so artistic, it's worthy of praising when something like looks cool or is exciting. I really did like that the droid had like split personalities, like you said too, where it was like the assassin and the medic. And he kept saying like This gets a boom or something like that, or like it brings the boom. He said that. I was like, that's not fucking referencing the fucking guys on TikTok.
The Costco guys.
Yeah.
That'd be kind of funny if it was, honestly, but I'm gonna say probably not.
Yeah.
Or okay. Not, I guess.
That makes two of us. Yeah. Yuko's treasure. I don't know why, but for some reason when I was watching this, when I was thinking of you, and I was like, oh, Brian's gonna have something to say about this. Am I wrong or?
I did sort of like this one. The animation in this was beautiful. It seemed like there was a lot of extra frames of animation in this. It looked very smooth. Almost reminded me of like a Studio Ghibli sort of movie.
Yep, very good point. Yeah.
Steve Buscemi was the villainous character, and I believe Harvey Guillen, who's Guillermo from What We Do in the Shadows, was the robot bear. I sort of liked it. I didn't write too much about it, but I kind of just really dug the animation here with this.
Yeah. Well, it kind of makes me think, like, looking at what we've just covered, they do a lot of things with droids in this too. They do things. There's a lot of bounty hunters. They do things with droids. Like, there's 2 instances where people wear droids as armor. In this case, this bear. First of all, one thing that's interesting about the bear, which I didn't even know that was his voice. With the bear, it's like I've never seen in Star Wars a droid that's like covered in fur.
Yeah, it kind of made me think of the what were those little robot bears from Thundercats?
Like Burbles?
Burbles. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Like the guy with like Robert Bill or something. I don't remember.
Yeah.
But it was like kind of like that. I've never seen anything like that either. It was, I guess, an interesting design there. There was a lot of one of the things I like in animation is when there's a lot of details and like weird things going on in the background. I feel like there was a lot of little creatures and weird details going on in the background. I can't remember anything off the top of my head that specifically, but that's a hallmark of good animation to me. Just when they put a lot of effort into it, they give you a lot of things to look at rather than just the characters and an empty background.
Yeah. I actually was thinking about that when I was like watching the Transformers the movie again. I was like, oh, there's Brian's point about having things in the background. The Transformers the movie is just littered with that. Yeah. And then that brings up a point I wanted to make too, which is this one's set on Tatooine. Now, there's been a couple that have been set on Tatooine, but this one, like, you really felt it. Like, it almost felt like they were taking like shots from the special edition and like just doing an animated version of it. And I was like, they should have maybe had more like this where they take a specific location and it's just like that has its own personality in the episode. Because the planet's good.
Yeah, that would have been a really cool unifying premise. Just like all things that happen around the Mos Eisley Cantina or something like that.
Right.
Yeah, that would have been a nice way to tie it together. And then there's also the potential for, like you keep asking for, is these kind of groups of people kind of coming together.
Right. Yeah, and I mean, like, there's locations that are pretty iconic. Like, Tatooine is probably the most famous, but then you could have had stuff on Coruscant, maybe something on Hoth. They could have had, like, this cool ice one. Hoth is not as, like, exciting because the landscape's pretty, what's the word I'm looking for? Like,
barren?
Thank you. Exactly. Right. But, like, you could use, like, wampas and shit. I don't know. But, like, that's what was the most appealing about this episode was that it was like you could feel like it was on Mos Eisley. And then I liked the design of Steve Buscemi's bounty hunter too.
Yeah, that like kind of mask thing.
Yeah. Because it looked like he was wearing a bird mask and then there was like skin. Like it looked like it wasn't a bird person. It looked like it was a person wearing a bird mask, almost like a plague doctor,
Yeah, I got that vibe. Yeah, and it just the designs of these characters just scream Studio Ghibli to me.
Yes. Well, my kids love Studio Ghibli, but I don't think they would like this show at all. So I'm guessing you probably don't care about seeing any more of these characters, right?
I'm good. I think
you're good. Yeah. I think that's what
I think I more so feel that about most of these because we binge these all in like a month's time, like I said before, or so.
Yeah.
So I maybe if I had a break between like what was like a year and a half each between these seasons, maybe I feel differently if I had not had to binge them all so closely together.
Right. Well, I think that like the fans felt the same way as you, not from binging, but just in general. We're like, I'm okay, because there wasn't really any buzz about this at all when it came out.
I don't remember hearing much buzz about when any of these came out.
Yeah. Well, I mean, so that's the one thing. Like, obviously, like the YouTube algorithm, you keep watching certain videos, they're going to keep feeding you videos like it. And I keep seeing videos from this one channel. The guy's name's Thor Skywalker, and he repeatedly keeps talking about how like Star Wars is losing popularity, that fans are sort of like detaching from Star Wars. And I watch something like this and I don't like see it referenced at all. And I don't really see Star Wars referenced in general that much recently. And I'm like, oh yeah, it does kind of feel like maybe Disney has gone too far. Do you feel that way?
Man, that's a very heavy question. I think that there was certainly some magic in the original trilogy that captivated many people, and to another generation, you could say the same thing about the prequels. And from there are other touch points that people really resonated with, but I feel like they're kind of maybe there is too much of it. I think it's a world ripe for continued use, for expansion. It really is. There's a lot of great things to build upon in this with the lore and in this universe, but I don't know. Yeah, maybe it's too much. Maybe newer generations aren't getting as attached. Maybe the newer things that they're seeing aren't as different as something like what Star Wars was in the 70s and 80s. And not to say that there wasn't anything like it back then, but there was certainly a different quality to it than other things released around there. Like it was a little, I don't know. It's hard to say that it was like excellent production quality in those movies, but when compared to other sci-fi things of its time, it seems a lot different,
Yes, 1000%. That's actually something I said to Mike Bongiorno in this recording that we did, which is that, like, when you were a kid, there were certain movies that you would watch where you're like, I can't believe I'm seeing this. This is so awesome. I can't believe they made this. And I feel like kids might still have that feeling now, but I think that like we've kind of reached a plateau with special effects and visuals to where it's like you just can expect to see anything at this point. And it would have to be something very creative and dynamic to stand out. Be like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm seeing this. And I don't think there's a lot of moments like that in modern Star Wars. I think there's just these sort of like outliers that stand out, but for storytelling purposes. Like Andor is the main thing, right? Like, but Andor, it's not because of the visuals. The visuals are excellent, but it's because of the way they tell the story.
Yeah, and the type of story they're telling it, and this just has that kind of bleak yet sort of hopeful vibe to it.
Yep.
That was really good, and it was why it was so good. But again, that's a show that people our age would be interested in, and maybe a little younger, but not a show for kids. They kind of need to ensnare a younger generation into Star Wars. Like my son does not care about Star Wars at all.
Right.
Like to me, I saw a lightsaber. I'm like, that's the coolest fucking thing I've ever seen in my life. And
right.
He's like, oh yeah, it's a laser sword, whatever,
Right. Yeah, it's like what I say about comics. Like it's like cigarettes. You got to get the kids while they're young and hook them. And I don't think Star Wars is hooking them right now.
No.
So with that being said, did you know that the next one is actually another sequel? Did you know that?
Yeah. This was the one from. This was a sequel to The Village Bride, and the Jedi here was F, I think her name is.
F, yes.
I was initially a little judgmental of this one again because it felt like F was going to be a passenger in another story, sort of. But I eventually like she gives this speech to the kids, like some kids on like a space station,
Yeah.
About how the Empire kind of takes advantage of disillusioned people and deceives them. And I'm like, you have to like really look and make your own judgments and not just listen to other people. I'm like, man, like this is kind of hitting that little bit of an Andor angle. And I appreciated that. And then I also really appreciated the message. So at the end, he's F is fighting a former master who's now evil for whatever reason. But she's clearly outmatched, and he even says it like you'll never beat me. And then she like whips out like from earlier in the episode like some kind of weird gas that like I don't know. I don't even know what it does. It like freezes them and turns them black. I don't know. Maybe it kills them. Maybe it just freezes them.
It's like carbonite.
It's carbon. That's right. It is carbonite. You're right. So she uses this carbonite gas to her advantage. So it's just kind of like that. I like that idea that, even though if you're not the greatest or the strongest, you still can overcome anything, you set out to do. And I really like that message there. And I kind of liked it more by the end of it.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like you hit the nail on the head with the Andor comparison, because even like them going onto the Star Destroyer and like unleashing that carbonite gas, that felt like an Andor type thing, because it's kind of nasty. It's like, I understand when they like blow up a bad guy's ship or they shoot them, like, it's war, right? But when it's like they freeze them like that,
it feels like kind of like a war crime.
right, exactly. Yeah. So I don't know. I actually am okay with this. Like, this is actually one character where I like, if there was like a comic or something about F, I actually think I would read it.
Yeah, I liked like this one did what I feel the Duel didn't. It built upon the character, gave them a little more backstory, gave you a little more what you want to see, learn a little more about it, and they grew. And you saw that when there's limited runtime. So I would be interested in seeing more from this character.
Yeah, dude, you're bringing the points today, man. I'm slugging. I'm sluggish.
I'm totally winging this. Like, I didn't even reread my notes before we recorded.
Yeah,
I'm kind of like looking over, like, what did I say?
No, you're good, man. You're good. And I want to see how you bring it home for these final three before we talk about Supergirl.
Okay, so I have a lot to say about these three because these are all a bit fresher in my mind.
Perfect. So we got the Smuggler, which it has kind of like one of those like obvious tropes where they're like, no one has seen the prince in a long time, and then you see like a person with like a cap on, and they're like, oh, look at their hair, like it's clearly that person right there.
Yeah.
But like, just tell me what you thought about this one in general.
Okay, this was a gender bent remix of A New Hope.
Oh, okay.
So the prince is Leia, but and they're on the planet already. But that old lady is clearly Obi-Wan, and the smuggler is clearly Han Solo. And I guess she had like some alien partner that kind of ditched them. I guess that might have been a good Chewie analogy, but it's just there's a smuggler after there's a gangster after the smuggler. The Empire's after this royalty from somewhere. There's a hidden Jedi you don't know about. They're escaping a desert planet. They go to Yavin eventually there. It just really felt like they remixed The New Hope, maybe added some details from the original draft of A New Hope, where it was Luke Starkiller and all that. But that's why I kind of liked it. It kind of felt familiar, but in a good way.
Yeah.
And this was one of those studios from the first season, Studio Trigger, that I'm a fan of. So then maybe gave a bonus point or two there.
Right. No, another fucking great point, man. I did not even fucking think about that for a second, which is bad that I didn't even consider that. There's a bounty hunter in this one, once again, like you said.
Yeah.
And
very Boba Fett-like.
Yeah. So, I mean, this one was fun. I actually would kind of want to see these characters some more as well.
Yeah. They're clearly setting up so they have a mission to go free more of these enslaved people from that planet. I don't think it was Tatooine this time. I don't remember what the name of the planet was.
Xenatria?
Yeah, there you go. But yeah, this was kind of cool, and I really dug it. And I like I said, the just the overall feeling I got from it was A New Hope, and somehow it worked in its favor.
Yeah, and the smuggler girl, Cheetah, I guess, or Chita, whatever, Chita. I thought that like aesthetically, she looked really cool too.
Yeah, the designs were great. I love the old lady, Glinu. She had I liked that she had the lightsaber in her arm, and she had it like sealed in there because they were in hiding and all that. It's really like this is Obi-Wan. I don't know,
Obi-Wan. Okay. Sounds like a bad joke. Obi-Wan a blowjob, but I'm sorry. I don't know, but we can segue to the next one.
M-rated.
Oh my God, perfect. The Bird of Paradise. This one is like easily the weakest one out of all of them.
I actively hated this one.
Okay, good. Thank you. All right, let me use my psychic powers. I'm already kind of bald like Professor X. Let me see if I can do it. You hate this one because it is the computer animated cells for the animation.
No, I mean, yeah, I'm not crazy about that, but ultimately, this was very, very tried to be deep, but it's very surface level and it's very cliche. There's a Padawan who's a little reckless, and there's this really over the top cliche anime villain, and then there's the master, and then she loses her sight, and that kind of like you feel like they could have done something with that premise. That's a cool premise, you know how much we both love Daredevil. Like, you could have done like Star Wars Daredevil. That would have been awesome.
Yeah,
but no, it's just this kind of just naive, like very childish. She instantly is like flings herself into despair at this thing, at this situation she's in. She's very annoying, honestly. And then eventually there's like a frog, and it's George Takei, and I guess that was kind of cool. That was the one plus I had. Like, George Takei is a frog. That's from Star Trek and Star Wars. And I started thinking about, well, who else was in both these franchises? And there's a lot actually.
If they're British, they've probably been in both.
Yeah, the first one of the larger ones that came. I looked up a list after I couldn't think of that many, but like Jason Isaacs was one, and then they had a couple that felt like it was cheating a little bit. They had like Simon Pegg and Carl Urban, who were sort of cameos in the sequels in Star Wars, and very obviously in the J.J. Abrams Star Trek franchise. And there was some other. I mean, granted, it generally is if they were in a live action Star Trek, they were a voice in Star Wars or something like that. Like no one was really in major live action entities of both. But yeah, there was a decent amount of people.
Wait, so Jason Isaacs, I'm assuming, is a voice of a character then. Who is he?
I think he voices some Sith or Inquisitor in Rebels.
Oh, okay. Yeah. He's like the main one, I think. The main Inquisitor.
I didn't watch that much of Rebels, so
yeah.
So this episode just felt very much like a trope. Like, oh, she has flaws she needs to overcome, and she fights her inner dark side, and then it comes out and she's optimistic. It was very textbook, very cliche. I really actively dislike this one, probably more than any other one in the entire series.
All right, you and I are on the same fucking page for this one, and you forgot to mention that there's like title cards that just flash on like every 30 seconds, and it makes this like sort of like annoying chimey music. It's like and it shows these title cards, and it's like so unnecessary.
Yeah, it's supposed to show different stages of her self journey here, and it just, I don't know, just didn't do it for me.
Yeah, and so it's funny because it almost feels like they put this one and then the last one. They're like, oh yeah, definitely put those towards the end because people aren't gonna like them as much. It's like the skits on Saturday Night Live when it's after like the musical guest and Weekend Update. They're like, yeah, put it at the end there because you don't want to turn people off. So I mean, we both disliked the Bird of Paradise. So that brings us up to Black, which like it's almost difficult to kind of talk about this one because there really isn't a plot. It's sort of like watching a music video.
Yeah. Yes. This is a Star Wars acid jazz psychedelic trip. It's basically the premise is a stormtrooper is just having some weird PTSD thing as he dies on the battlefield. And it visually was very striking and looked really cool. I honestly questioned how this would have looked on drugs. And I imagine I would have liked it even more had I taken something.
Yeah.
But yeah, I the visuals are great. I really, especially the like the space battles. You see the TIE fighters flying around. You see like a Star Destroyer like crash through a planet or something. I don't remember, but I got like Unicron vibes from that. You know, like all the little pieces flying around.
Yeah. I mean, wasn't there a point when like the Death Star almost opens up like a mouth because it's like being destroyed?
Yeah. Almost like
Unicron
eating the planet. Yeah. I mean, there's very obvious similarities between Unicron and the Death Star. So.
Yeah. Right. Yes. Yeah. One of the, I think I mentioned this in our Transformers commentary that we did, but then it never was published. But like this one guy said that Unicron is essentially the Death Star and the Emperor in one, and I always love that comparison.
Yeah.
And the Emperor's in this too. He kind of like spirals around like as if he was falling down the reactor core.
Yeah. This looked really cool, and I didn't quite understand why. I mean, I imagine there's supposed to be some metaphor there with the stormtrooper fighting himself because he lost an arm, and there's like a red one and a green one. They're fighting constantly throughout the whole thing. I guess maybe that's like a light side, dark side metaphor, but I don't. It's interesting to see it from the perspective of a stormtrooper, which you normally don't see that. I mean, actually, this is one of the few times where we're seeing something from like the view of like a grunt, someone who's insignificant.
Right.
In the larger scale of things, like everyone, every other thing has, they have like, a main character that feels important in their world to some degree. But this is literally just a nameless stormtrooper dying on a massive battle. That is, that's it.
It's kind of like Rutger Hauer's speech at the end of Blade Runner, where like he's talking about all these crazy things that he's seen, and the stormtroopers would have experienced crazy things or seen crazy things because they're on the front lines. They're the cannon fodder, but they're seeing all this crazy stuff, up close and personal. I was going to ask you, do you remember there were like these cartoons that were on MTV like late at night, like when we were really young? And I think like the Max was one of them. Like they turned the Image comic, the Max, into
that Aeon Flux too.
Aeon Flux, right. There was like these two like stupid guys that kind of like would like peel their bodies open and stuff. There were these big white hulking guys. I can't remember what the fuck they were called, but this kind of felt like it was from that time,
Yeah. Whoever made this likes acid.
Yes. So, I mean, I think we did it because I mean, obviously, this one it is not like, oh, you want to see more of this character. It's not really that kind of thing. But we got through all of these. I guess my last question before we talk about Supergirl is, if you were to rank the seasons, which one would you say was your favorite out of the three that we covered?
Man, I have no idea. I think I may lean towards one, I guess.
Okay.
As much as it is very repetitive with the Jedi, Jedi versus Sith, crystals everywhere. I greatly appreciated that they have smugglers in here. They have bounty hunters. They have other types of characters in this. There's a little bit less like computer animation. Like you could tell that this seems more like season one than 2.
Yeah.
So I
Right.
don't know. Maybe I'd go 1, 3, 2, but it's not like a huge gap in between any of those. It's all pretty
Yeah.
close.
Yeah. That's a good ranking. I don't know. I think there's some merit to the second season. I like that there's like very different styles in the second season.
Yeah, I think it's partial because I think the second season is a lot more Western.
Yeah.
And whereas 1 and 3 are a bit more Eastern, and maybe that just appeals to me a little bit more. I don't know.
I can see that. Yeah. Yeah. It'd be interesting to like take all of these episodes and then rank them all. And I'm sure there's like definitely articles on the internet where people have done that, where they've ranked them all.
Yeah.
I kind of like to see it. I'd like to make a list like that. Is there one that like stands out for you, which is like, oh, I really love this one out of all these 3?
Oh God. I'm trying to scroll back up to remember what other ones were there. Oh God. I don't know. I have no idea.
Okay. All right. I don't know. I liked the what the fuck?
If I had to pick one, I'd probably say the first Ninth Jedi, maybe.
Okay. Wow. Well, that's good. That's the one that they're going to make more of.
Yeah. Oh, I really like Screecher's Reach from season 2 also. That whole vibe.
Yeah.
And then, that was pretty cool, that one. Oh, man. Yeah. Those 2 stood out to me, I think. Yeah. I'll go with those.
Good choices. I can't remember the title of the one with the rock band, but I actually really like that one a lot.
Let's go back and look through my notes here. Tatooine Rhapsody.
Yeah. I like that, that the chibi kind of Boba Fett. I think he looks really cool. And
yeah.
I like the fact that Joseph Gordon-Levitt's the singer in that, and I don't know, kind of their attitude in that episode. I don't know. That one is a good one for me. Yeah. But let's talk about something that I'm actually legitimately excited to talk about: the Supergirl trailer.
Yes. Or DC Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yes. I've gotten that a lot from people. Yeah. So, just overall, like general thoughts so far. Did it get you excited? Are you looking forward to this? How do you feel about it?
So Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow is the book it's based on, and to me, that's going to be one of those kind of like standalone, recommend this to people kind of book. And I think it's amazing that such a recent book is getting adapted into a movie, comic-wise, because I feel like everything we get is adapted from a story that's like 30 years old or something like that. So it's amazing to see something that I read and loved be translated to be adapted so quickly. I think it seems like it's going to captures the vibe very well. It looks while it does really look a lot like Guardians of the Galaxy, it kind of gives off that same sensibility of it, like we're this kind of a roguish outlaw kind of person is traveling through space and doing things. And it's just different because it's a Kryptonian now with a sidekick, and not an ensemble necessarily. And I think the book had a really great, interesting premise. I think maybe it dragged on a little bit and didn't quite stick the landing. But I am really excited about this. I think we got a very quick glimpse of Jason Momoa as Lobo, and I don't think there is a better person to be in a role, but more perfect for a role than that. Like I don't think I can think of anything else that was so like this person was born to play this role. Like this is there's nothing more perfect for this person than this.
Correct.
And I'm excited to see how they put him into this overall there. But I mean, really, it's just a teaser. It seems like they're sticking pretty close to the story where Supergirl is stranded. Something happens and she goes on this kind of little revenge quest with her little sidekick. I'm just excited to see it out in person. I think Millie Alcock is a really great choice. She was fantastic in that first season of House of the Dragon. And yeah, I'm really excited for this movie.
Yeah, yeah, I'm excited as well. I have to say that with the trailer, I can't say that I got excited by any specific thing that I saw besides recognizing characters from Superman, Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. Like I'm like, oh, that's the girl with the sword. Oh, okay, that's the bad guy that they're just kind of like going after, right? Like that got me excited. The one thing that stood out though is Lobo. Like the way that they shot it, it's just he's like walking towards the camera. They're on some sort of like planet that's kind of urban and it looks a little bit like post-apocalyptic and he's like walking towards the camera. It's so brief, it almost barely focuses on him, but I'm like, oh shit, like here comes that perfect casting walking right towards us. And so I think he's even fucking smoking a cigar and stuff too, and
He better be.
Yeah. So I mean, I wasn't like as impressed because like she is a fucking Kryptonian, so she should be able to do like crazy ridiculous stuff, and they didn't really show her doing that much except for like the last shot where she's like spinning something around, just knocking a whole bunch of people. And yeah, go ahead.
Remember, then the beginning of the book, they're in a galaxy that with a red sun, so she's fairly depowered. So that's I think that it's really hard to judge a teaser trailer for anything really, but I mean, they haven't given us the plot, but we sort of know the plot from the book. And I still think that the premise of this is brilliant. And like I said, it doesn't stick the landing quite. It's not bad, but it's maybe a little. I wish it was more satisfying than it actually is. And I hope that they can do something maybe to make that better about the movie. So the trailer gives me hope, which is a great word to use with Superman, a Superman related thing. And I'm looking forward to seeing another story-based trailer so we can, really see what they changed and what all that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what did keep my excitement going was the behind the scenes stuff, right? Because I looked it up and it's directed by Craig Gillespie. Now he did I, Tonya, which I actually really like I, Tonya a lot.
I always wanted to see that movie.
Yeah. Yeah, well, you get a chance, man. I'm sure it's streaming on one of the many services that we have. Yep. And then he also did Cruella, which I don't think Cruella is this amazing movie or that like it's just good and it's visually exciting. He does a lot where he has like these montages in his movies where like a random song's playing, it almost to the point where it almost feels like it's too much. But I think that's why it feels like Guardians of the Galaxy, because I'm assuming that the way it's shot and the way it's edited, it's gonna feel like a whole bunch of like music montages after like sequences where like music is really leading it. He also did like the Fright Night remake. Now the woman that wrote it, this is very intriguing to me. I'm gonna try to pronounce her last name, but her name's Anna, and then it's Nogueira, Nogueira, maybe. Right. I don't know, but she's written plays and she's written a short film, and now she's written this, and then a Wonder Woman film, and a Teen Titans film. So like James Gunn clearly sees potential in her.
Yeah, sounds like it. Yeah, if they're trusting those properties to her.
Yeah, she wrote the play. Emathitrax, Emathitrax, and then another one, Which Way to the Stage. She actually was in like the proto kind of original version of Hamilton, not the one that was like on Broadway, but like kind of what they were doing to make Hamilton, like workshopping it. She was like Hamilton's wife in that. Okay. And then she was on the Vampire Diaries, so she's an actress as well as a writer.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah. So it's like, it's a really interesting choice to have someone that's making these like pretty major DCU films.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, and this we haven't really seen anything from this DC universe that hasn't had a heavy hand of James Gunn in it yet. So this will be really interesting to see this and then Clayface how they turn out and how they fit within this larger universe.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I don't know how it's gonna go. And then also, like, I looked up the cast, and like Matthias Schoenaerts or whatever. There's all these names I don't know how to pronounce, but he's playing Creme of the Yellow Hills. That's the bad guy, right? Okay. Ava Ridley, she is the girl with the sword, right? Ruth Maria Knoll, and then David Krumholtz. You know who that is, right?
Yeah.
He's Zor-El, like he's Supergirl's dad.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah. I was kind of like, I was thinking about this, is making me laugh how like the people they chose to be like the Kryptonian parents and stuff. Like Bradley Cooper's what?
I think of David Krumholtz, and I think of him as an elf in some movie.
Right. I think
is it Elf? Is it Santa Claus? Something I don't remember.
It's the Santa Claus, the one with Tim Allen.
Okay.
Yeah. So I mean, like, I think it's just an interesting choice for him to be her dad, you know?
Yeah. I mean, he's clearly of the age if he was in fucking Santa Claus from
right
1995 or something like that. So,
right.
That's an interesting casting choice, but I'm sure it was made, with a lot of decision making behind it.
Yeah. And she is 23 in the movie. She even says it in the trailer. She does like a toast to herself for her birthday. Yeah. And we see Krypto too.
Yes. Well, Krypto's a fairly large driving portion of the story here. So, So yeah, and I think it's great that they introduce Krypto so well in Superman.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I'm starting to get those vibes of like early MCU vibes where like they're showing something that's like, this is its own thing, but see how it's connected to the other movie you just saw, you know?
Yeah, and it's exciting because it's something. It's like the beginning stages of something, and even though we've seen these characters before and other things, but it's higher tiered characters beginning their journey, so it's a little more exciting than Phase 6.
Right. Right. Take that, Marvel. Yeah.
So I say that as someone who would say they like Marvel more than DC.
Right.
But yeah, I'm definitely excited for this movie, and I'm excited because I really do dig that comic, and it's a great kind of like jumping on point for someone who's never read a comic. I think, to recommend. That's fairly recent.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's a really great way to end this. So, yeah, good job, man. I enjoyed talking about Star Wars Visions. I think you actually made me appreciate the show this season more than I did. So, thank you. And I guess, what the fuck are we gonna do next now?
I have no idea. We also didn't mention at all the Blondie in the trailer. I thought that was a pretty good choice.
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry to wrap it up.
I don't think there's anything more to say about that, but it was just a good choice for a blonde-haired character. It's kind of like a little bit of a rebellious streak in her.
Yeah.
A little sort of punk rockish,
Yeah, which that's definitely what they were going for with Superman. Yeah, man. So we'll figure out what we're gonna cover next, and we'll come back soon. But there's definitely stuff coming up in 2026. I think we'll probably get one more episode at least in before this year ends.
Did we do a top episode last year, or did we skip that?
We did a best of the year. Yeah.
We should definitely do that. I mean, I think we know how it's going to end, but.
Right. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing else coming out between now and the end of the year, right?
I'll look around. I wish I keep one thing I'm watching right now is the Mighty Nine on Prime Video, which is the second Critical Role campaign. And I have never watched any of the Critical Roles, like proper stuff, but I love Vox Machina, which is still ongoing as well. And I love this. And I keep thinking, like, this is such a good show. And I really would love to talk about it, but I feel like I have nothing to offer with it. Like, I know nothing about the world and the stuff that, like, I feel like it would be wrong to do it. Like, it doesn't feel like it would fit here with us. Because I think what we try to do is we try to give some kind of insight to something that from the original adaptation of something or the original source of an adaptation. and I have nothing on the source of the adaptation for this.
Yeah, I've never watched Critical Role, but I do have this book like that's of like the world.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And I mean, I've always been intrigued. I think I'm going to check the show out because you are saying such good things about it, and I kind of am missing something to watch at the moment.
And
but I was going to say,
don't watch it with your kids. Either show.
Oh no, I know. I remember seeing a trailer where like some woman was like riding a halfling's dick or something. And
yeah, there's not as much of that stuff in this so far than Vox Machina, but this is definitely like an 18+ show.
Right. All right. Well, what do you call? I got a show recommendation I'm going to tell you after we are done recording. But I wanted to thank you guys for watching. And once we reach that point where we're talking about a woman riding a halfling's dick, it's probably time to go. We'll see y'all next time. Yoink.